It's September 5th, and you know what that means. The first of 3 presidential debates between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, just 3 weeks away. It's going to be great TV, that's for sure. One of the most highly anticipated matchups in political history. What are Clinton and Trump doing to get ready?
You have to prepare, but I watched a lot of his debates during the primaries, and he insulted all of his opponents. He insulted all of the moderators. He insulted, I guess, about 80% of the American people and the rest of the world. So I want to take it seriously. I want to talk about what I think we can do and how important it is. But you've got to be prepared for, like, wacky stuff that comes at you. And
I think they're going to be very important. It looks like it's going to be 3 debates. I look very much forward to it. It'll be a very interesting, especially the first one's going to be a very interesting evening. Well, I think it's going to be very important. I don't know if it's make or break, but I've done well in the debates. I had 17 people in the debates, and, you know, I'm the one that survived, and I've enjoyed the debating process. I never debated before professionally or as a politician because I was never a politician before. But we had 11 debates that I participated in, and according to everybody, I did very well.
Sources say Clinton has at least 25 researchers working on opposition files to help the secretary find a way to fluster Trump while they're on the stage. Donald Trump has been prepping with advisors, but says it can be dangerous to go overboard with preparation for debates because you don't want to sound scripted or phony. So, Melissa, you're someone who has been on a professional stage. You know what it's like. Can you be too scripted in a debate?
I guess you could be. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that Trump isn't doing a lot of preparation. When you look at even just how much better his prompter reading has gotten, for example. I mean, remember just a week or 2 ago when he first started using the prompter all the time, you could really tell he was reading it. And then all of a sudden he started doing it well. So I think that he's definitely practicing. I think for Hillary Clinton, I mean, she's kind of a bit robotic no matter what. So I'm sure she's practicing, but she comes off kind of like an elitist robot dictator out there doing her thing. I think you can over-practice, but probably not in this setting because it's really high pressure and there's going to be about 1.5 zillion people watching and neither of them knows what's really coming. So I would say practice to your heart's content.
Well, you know, Kimberly, in fact, what we hear is that the Clinton team is talking to Tony Schwartz, who wrote The Art of the Deal with Donald Trump, trying to get inside Trump's head. And they're also consulting with psychologists to see if there's a way they can irritate him, you know, needle him on the stage and get him to act out of character. What do you think?
I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of money for consultants, you know, to make. It's one way to stimulate the economy. Figure it out. Trump's not, like, in hiding all the time. He's not, like, napping now, like Hillary is, probably resting for the debate. You know, I mean, what is there to figure out about him? He's transparent. He tweets. He tells you exactly what's on his mind. He's been available every day for any kind of press conference. He's done how many rallies now? I mean, the guy is constantly on the move. To be honest, I'm concerned because he's working so much. Is he going to be able to be prepared, you know, for the debate any time, even to be able to invest in it? Because, you know, he's made himself so available to the media and to all of these other events.
Well, you know, Eric, I've never, ever heard of a candidate who refuses to do a mock debate. But apparently he said he doesn't even want to practice. He's having meetings, and according to the newspaper reports, they have bacon cheeseburgers, Cokes, and sit around and just talk about the debate. But there's no actual practice. Now, you know, historically, especially among the Democrats, they bring in somebody to pose as the other side, right? And they act like the other candidate. But he doesn't want to do it.
No, okay, at least we don't know if he's going to do it.
Well, that's what they
he's
say.
He's in good hands now. He has Kellyanne Conway. He's got Steve Bannon. Look at what he did in the last few days. He flew to Mexico before his big immigration speech, and then he went immediately to Ohio, did speech after speech after speech. Then he went to Detroit and did this big economic thing, reach out to African-American communities. He is on a serious schedule right now. So he's being handled very well. I think he'll be more than well prepped. I think they're probably saying,
yeah, I think
it's genius to say, yeah, we got cheeseburgers and Cokes, and that's and we're not. But I'm sure he's going to be extremely prepped for that debate.
That
also,
so good.
The rumor is that Mark Cuban may sit in as Donald Trump on the Democrat side for Hillary. So she may debate him with Jennifer Granholm, who's been a long-time debate prepper, who did a lot of debate prep with Barack Obama. She's been very, very good. And on the other side, the rumor is that Laura Ingraham is going to sit down and help Donald Trump out, acting as Hillary Clinton. I think both of these are great people to stand if the rumors are true.
So one of the
I think
most
he's gonna be
memorable moments
He'll be
I
ready.
recall from
Knockdown
recent debate
16.
history, I came home after a debate and I went to see my mom, and my mom was on the edge of losing it, sort of. And I said, Mom, boy, that debate, you know, between Al Gore and George Bush, boy, I think Gore really handed it to him. And my mom looked at me and she said, oh, no, he was so rude and condescending to Mr. Bush. I think Mr. Bush is such a nice man, and I just can't believe that that's what you think. I was like, whoa, what debate did I watch? So one of the dangers, Greg, for Hillary Clinton in this is she might be well prepared, she might have more knowledge, but she comes across to the audience as somewhat arrogant, elitist. I think you said elitist, right?
Elitist robot, I think.
Yeah, what do you think, Greg?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Right now, these candidates are on two separate train tracks. They keep going past each other. What a debate does is it puts them on the same track, and they're coming right at them. And I think it's going to be, I think the first debate is going to be extremely ugly. I think each candidate could learn from the other one. For example, Trump could learn to be more policy-driven. She could learn to be funnier. I don't know if that's going to happen. But the thing we're not talking about is the real debate. Pence versus Kaine. I mean, we're talking about Trump versus Hillary, but by far more interesting than that, more exciting, it's Pence versus Kaine. Do you know which one is Pence or which one is Kaine? If I put there they are, there they are. This is like a tennis match between kitchen appliances. This will have the excitement of watching your phone recharge. I'm not sure we need a VP debate.
Right.
What did Admiral Stockdale say? Who am I and why am I?
He was a great guy.
That was great.
Now you like that?
Yeah, but it's interesting. It's like it's so milquetoast that.
Yeah, but okay. But the other side, Gregory, is
You'll be sent to cover
Trump comes off as not knowing what he's talking about. He gets embarrassed up on the stage.
The challenge for him, and the reason why he succeeded, was he was up against 17 people, or 16. Was it 17 total? So that means that you could insult and move on, but and to the next person, and that takes up most of the time. But you're one-on-one now, so that means you can't just lob little grenades over and over again. Sooner or later, you got to add some facts, some substance when you're one-on-one, or perhaps 1 and 2 if Johnson is there, but I don't think he will be.
All right.
Not the way it's
Trump's
going.
campaign manager says the Republican nominee is taking a very different approach to his opponent as he preps for their debate.
Look, he's an unconventional candidate, and he's not going to prepare the way Hillary does. So the Donald Trump, the authentic Donald Trump, who's been taking his case directly to the voters, is the one that you will see on the debate stage with Hillary Clinton. And I think they're nervous over in Clinton camp because he is he's the unpredictable X factor. She is the scripted statist Hillary Clinton that, that basically needs to memorize lines.
Wow. So this is what we're saying, that she's scripted, he's not scripted. But there is an amazing, interesting historical fact here. This is the first time we're going to see a woman on the debate stage. Okay, and you've got a candidate, Donald Trump, who's known to have a little difficulty with women. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Is this a danger that he could do something that especially women voters would interpret as offensive,
question.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection.
Juan, we never do that here on the Five.
We never
say, was that a great speech by Trump or a really great speech?
No, we would never say that.
Or his best speech.
Best speech ever.
Best speech ever. And will ever be.
Or was it huge?
Huge.
Yeah,
it was a huge speech. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you think about
anything is possible, right? Of course. He's going to speak his mind. He's not a scripted person, but I think that's why he's done so well, thus far.
Right.
But Hillary Clinton is somebody who's battle tested. She's going to be able, I think she's going to be prepared. She'll be able to hold her own. I do not think that he's going to be intimidated by facing her on the debate
as a woman?
As a candidate running for president.
But he's got to deal with the fact that she's a woman.
I understand that, but what is there to deal with? He should debate her as if she is anyone else on the stage, just like he did when Carly Fiorina was on the stage.
Oh, no, that didn't work so well.
No, what I'm saying is Carly Fiorina was treated like an equal on the stage, as she should be, with all the other male candidates up there running for the Republican nomination, right? So I think you have to kind of play your game, focus that way. Do not go and say, I see a female, I see a male, debate her on the issues.
He should, but unfortunately, I think everybody's going to be watching with a magnifying glass, and he does have to be careful about his tone, and he can't attack her too much. I think both sides are completely sandbagging and lying about the preparation. I mean, she's saying, oh, he's so wild and crazy, I don't know where it's going to come from. I mean, who is she kidding? She's as tough as nails. He's saying, I'm eating cheeseburgers and drinking Coke, and we're, playing field hockey, and we're not even practicing over here. Everyone's lying. Everyone is practicing. They're going to get out there. It's going to be, I would bet, the highest rated, biggest night for a debate ever. Everyone's going to be watching, especially that first one. And I bet that they're both going to come out swinging. You're forgetting, though, there were a couple debates where Trump was really subdued. I mean, remember that? So I think that's one of the fears, is maybe he backs off a little too much.
That's why he's got to be
he
himself.
doesn't want to look like he's attacking a woman. I agree with you on that premise that he does need to be careful.
Let me ask Mr. Masculine. You know that once...
Which one of these two?
Yeah,
is Mr.
which
Masculine?
one?
Come on.
Come on. More specific.
So alpha.
Okay, so when Hillary Clinton had her first Senate debate here in New York, right, her opponent actually walked over to her. Yep. And that was seen as too aggressive, invading her space.
That's not, there's nothing that's, look at it this way. Here is UFC Donald Trump versus championship boxing Hillary Clinton. The old school, the typical politician. Right. She knows how to box. She knows how to fight in the ring. But you put a UFC boxer in a regular boxing ring, that person wins every time because the boxer's used to rules. Rules go out the window when you put UFC and a boxer together. And Donald Trump is not, you can't prepare for Donald Trump. No matter how hard you try, you just don't know where it's coming.
And by the way, she gets snippy too, so she has to be careful because he's going to be able to poke her cage.
And right, because she doesn't prepare or she can't prepare for it, he'll come at her with some things that'll frustrate her, and she may get frustrated and mad and angry, and that'll come off poorly too. I think this is going to be a very, very important moment for Donald Trump.
So, Greg, if you are now advising the two of them going into this, what are you saying?
Well, I think back to this thing about gender, I think Bernie McGurk says this a lot. He says that the compliment to Trump is also the consequence of Trump. He doesn't see gender, so he will insult a woman's looks the way he insults a man's looks. Like he'll make fun of Carly Fiorina's face.
Yes.
So because he doesn't think that that's any different than making fun of a man's face. So that is truly being gender blind. He doesn't see male or female, and therefore that comes off as sexist, ironically. I guess I think you have to maintain composure. You cannot.
What about humor?
If either side loses their cool, then they lose.
What about, like, someone said, can Hillary be funny? Can she be relaxed?
She's got to have a few things, up her sleeve, and they usually do. Somebody has a couple of jokes, and she's going to try to draw him out with a couple of little shots to get him mad because they've been looking at his psyche. And all he has to do is to try to get her just angry enough to raise her voice so that she sounds like she's incredibly defensive and shrill. That's what I would do. I would try to get her...
That high-pitched laugh that she does, like with the wipe the server thing.
She's got to get him to look mean, and he's got to make her look shrill.
Well, as Ronald Reagan once said, I'm not going to take advantage of my opponent's youth and inexperience. Pretty good for an old guy. Much more to come on the Five's Labor Day special. Is a big surprise in store for Trump or Clinton coming
just around the corner? It's a dreaded month for presidential candidates in a lot of past elections. It's a month when some kind of surprising information gets leaked on one or both of the candidates, deliberately timed to influence the outcome of the vote, hence nicknamed the October surprise. Wikileaks founder Julian Assange is threatening to dump damaging new information at some point on Hillary Clinton. Listen.
Are we going to see it before the November 8th election?
Yes, absolutely. People have a right to understand who it is that they're nominating. It's a variety of different types of documents from different types of institutions that are associated with the election campaign. Some quite unexpected angles that are quite interesting. Some even entertaining.
Okay, Greg, you like this? You think this is going to happen? You think he's going to drop some stuff?
See, I always thought October surprise was something you'd have to look up in the Urban Dictionary. It's like that'll cost you double if you want an October surprise and triple if your friend watches. So I don't know. Or it could be like a really cool holiday dessert. Like an October surprise would be like a pumpkin, but inside the pumpkin is another pumpkin. I sometimes think the October surprise is maybe a kind of magical thinking. Like if you're in debt, you go, well, I'll just win the lottery. And so people are hoping, maybe there'll be an October surprise. I don't know.
Wow.
You want to follow that?
I ain't coming to me here. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Understand anything?
No idea what those October surprises are all about. Your thoughts on Julian Assange or anything else?
Look, I think if he's saying that he's going to deliver something that is going to be quite significant, when I interviewed Trump, he said it was going to be earth-shattering with respect to Hillary Clinton. I think you should expect it to happen. It just depends, and Julian Assange had told Megyn Kelly that, well, it depends if the media is going to cover it, if they're actually going to, put it out there and, drive the story. But he knows what he's got, and I'm just curious, when.
You trust Julian Assange?
I don't trust him at all. But when he has said that he has stuff and he's going to leak it, he has.
Yeah,
That's my
Some of it isn't as earth-shattering as he claims.
And sometimes the October surprise doesn't even hurt the person they're going after. Sometimes it actually helps them.
That could be the surprise part, is that it doesn't hurt who it's supposed to. So I would think it's Julian Assange, but I want to come up with my own answer. So I went with that I think that they'll try and do something with the Clinton Foundation, like shutter it or half shutter it. The Clinton Global Initiative is this big liberal love fest where they show up weeping about the environment and hugging rainbows and unicorns run through the street. That happens in September 19th through the 21st here in New York. It's crazy. So they're having their big meeting, and I think at that, in conjunction with that, they're going to say something about we're going to mothball, part of the foundation. They already said they were going to leave Chelsea in charge, which showed kind of how tone deaf they are, and they love hobnobbing with rich people and lining their pockets. So I don't think it really goes away, but it'll be something around that. That's my bet.
Juan, do you think there's
in charge.
a Trump-targeted October surprise?
I don't have any idea, but apparently KG says that he told her that he does have something, but I don't know.
No, at him.
Julian Assange told
I thought
Kelly,
you said Trump said to you.
Trump said to me.
That's what I thought I heard.
On air,
right,
that it was something earth-shattering.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
I meant is, do you think there's anything targeted at Trump? Trump being the target.
He said
well, no, it's a different kind of thing. I think there are two big issues out there. One, Trump's tax returns. So if somebody had something on Trump's tax returns and released it in October, that would be like, whoa, because I think a lot of people have questions about why he hasn't released it. And I've seen in recent polls that most people don't know that he hasn't released it.
Yeah.
So that's a potential source. On the Clinton side, I think it's the foundation and the emails that we've discussed here earlier. I mean, but if you look back historically, it's kind of funny. Remember, a lot of people were concerned 5 days before, I think that was the 2000 race. There was a drunk driving report put out on George W. Bush.
Right.
And then we have historical...
Well, he still won, though.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean,
it was 2000.
Yeah, 2000. So that was the disputed race that actually Gore got more votes, remember?
Yeah, but
the thought was that if that drunk driving thing hadn't come out...
Did I miss something? It was George Bush, not the president.
Yeah, but no, the thought was that if that hadn't come out, Bush would have, in fact, won more votes
won by a bigger margin.
Well, he didn't win by any margin. He lost, actually.
My prediction is they will
You're
find
right. Bush
out.
wasn't president.
No, he was president, but he lost the vote.
My prediction is that they will find out Hillary is a space-shifting lizard, and that Donald is a space alien who is polluting the atmosphere with chemtrails.
That was good.
And Alex Jones will break it.
Okay.
Isn't he already broken that story?
I think he might have, actually. He's going to break it again.
In fact, I think half the people on network television are these, what are they called, shape-shifting lizards.
Yeah,
Lou Dobbs is one.
Lists of it? Yeah.
Careful. There's quite a few. All right, let's go.
Any others?
Oh, my goodness.
We should all work less and live more.
Right. It's Labor Day, and many of you are enjoying a well-deserved 3-day weekend. Should our employers give us a break and actually let us have a 3-day weekend every week?
Yes.
Why not? A new study says yes, Melissa. Some companies are already trying it out, like the clothing retailer Uniqlo and also Amazon, launching a program to experiment with a 30-hour work week for select employees. I sense a lawsuit already. All right, so is this good or not? I'm a little bit worried about the Amazon, because as an Amazon Prime customer, what does this mean?
Obamacare.
Getting stuff? Oh, okay.
They're trying to cut down hours so that they don't have to provide health care, because the genius idea that President Obama had required 40. If you work 40 hours, you have to give health care away. So everyone is trying to get under the 40-hour work week, trying to get under the 30-hour work week. The middle class is getting screwed because of this.
Do you remember that we did this topic, this exact topic, and this is exactly how it happened? We were talking about the 3-day work week, and you said, this has to do with Obamacare. I swear we did this last year on Labor Day. It's amazing.
And by the way, wait till all the other companies start to say, once Amazon and Uniqlo do it and it's working for them, hey, I don't have to provide health care anymore. Let's do this. 3-day work week.
So we can keep this and run it next Labor Day. It'll be perfect. Okay, so bowling has managed to, in groundhog fashion, blame it on Obama again within the first 15 seconds of the segment.
blame it on Obama.
There you go. No, it's your turn.
Oh, you are? Oh, I didn't know you were. I thought you were just making a statement of fact.
He was on the 3-day work week.
No, but we can't. By the way, we can't get that, can we? I mean, because we got to do a show.
If you don't want it.
I thought about it too.
Good, but then someone would take your
really
job.
Do you think
really
people should have a
pleasure.
3-day weekend every
Well,
weekend?
I mean, obviously, I think there are lots of people who would prefer time with their family and friends and hanging out and going to the ball game, whatever they want to do. Go to the gym. Not you?
No.
What would you do?
No. The curse of the 3-day weekend is that it makes that day coming back to work harder than a typical day.
So
it's like, when you do drugs and you get really, really high. And then you wake up and you're really, really low.
No.
That's like a 3-day weekend. It's like Tuesday is brutal. It's like it's so hard to go to work when you have one extra day. Or coming back from vacation, I prefer just to work till I die.
Well, I know a guy in Hollywood, and he used to tell me that he worked basically 4 or 5 hours a day and never worked Fridays. And he said, if you can't get what you need to get done in 4 or 5 hours, what are you doing?
Melissa, take us down.
Wow. Okay, so
economy
he managed to make the awesome long weekend into a total bummer.
Sorry.
That's what he does.
I think that this is a genius idea. I think there are a lot of people who would like to work fewer hours, even if it means less pay, which is what it means in the case of Amazon. But there are a lot of people on Wall Street who do job share with another individual, and they do, half the week, and the other person does the other half of the week, and they, go and enjoy their family the rest of the time. And it's a good way to, still have your toehold in your career, and maybe you do that. We work less when your kids are small, and then when they get big, you go back to work more time.
Is this for women or men too?
And it is mostly women who do it, but they do both. And actually now at my son's school, there's more dads doing drop-off and more moms who are the breadwinners because of our last recession. But
Really?
I don't know. I think, absolutely.
I see a lot of dads.
Ton of dads.
At the school. They all are.
They're the ones that got laid off.
They claim they're dads. Job share doesn't work.
No?
It's like the tandem bicycle. The guy in front is pedaling and steering. The guy in the back, the girl in the back, my wife, has got her feet up.
It's never even.
Why do you have to hate on the wives?
Yeah, we want you to be happy.
It's
Slow
never
down.
even.
But I must say, to the contrary, that according to these reports, people who get Fridays off, usually during the summer. A lot of people in the publishing industry get this.
Yeah.
Man, but they love it. They love it.
Of course they do. But if you're trying to get somebody on the line on a Friday,
forget it.
And you know what's great? The worst thing in the world is the out-of-office email.
Oh.
And so you get it. So then every Friday, if you want to talk to anybody in publishing, they just bounce back at you like tennis balls.
That's, by the way, that's
like they're rubbing it in.
Annoying.
Yes.
And also in Italy, they take the whole month of August. I don't like when people
France too. Yeah.
No, it's really
the Europeans have a lot
of holidays.
of
We're
You
not
take
gonna
the
get any
night
of
off
that.
every night. You come home, you got the night off. So who needs time off?
Are you a boss?
totally
You
with
are a
you.
boss, man.